Okay, welcome back. I've made a few changes to my workshop, not too much. I added this plug strip right here to the top of this workbench, and I had one spare LED light, so I mounted it under there. Good light is critical, I'll just say that. I also, Harbor Freight had their little Bauer portable bandsaw. See if I can get a shot of it. It's that red thing there. That went on sale for 90 bucks. I'd seen all kinds of things on the interweb about how useful it is. Then I went to the Swag website and bought this table for I think it's 150 bucks, but if you pay a little bit more, they powder coat it because it is just steel and it'll rust like crazy, and in this Alabama humidity, that's an issue. So I think it was $169, and they threw in the shipping, and it showed up in a couple of days. Bolts right on, took all of 5 minutes to assemble all that. The only real drawback, and I won't say that, is the saw doesn't have a way to keep it on. You have to hold the trigger. It's not like one of those older pre-OSHA drills where you pulled the trigger and push the button in. So they include this little Velcro strap. They even say you could use a big clamp, spring clamp. So basically the on switch is when you plug it in. Today, what I'm making, you can see my control torque tube mounts. I think I talked about this in a prior video. The prior owner of this kit decided not to use the Delrin bushings, so he actually pressed on a nice bearing onto the torque tube, and then machined up these aluminum bearing blocks that clamp it on, and it's beautiful. It just is really nice, but they're wider than those brackets. So right now I am making an adapter. It's basically a piece of 63 thousandths 4130 steel, and it is basically as wide as it needs to be, and deep enough so that basically I'm going to cut a flat strap and then put a 90-degree bend along one of the long edges to give it some strength, and that'll be my adapter plate to go between the new bushings and the old original mount. The alternative would be to grind off those mounts and weld in some new ones, but I can make these adapters. Haven't 100% decided how I'm going to attach it on there. I think I'm going to just put one rivet in approximately where you can see these are put in so that this hole is essentially lined up, and then it's long that way. So I'm thinking I'll just, the bolt through here will hold this end, and I'm thinking of just putting a rivet here, just one aluminum rivet. But I'm not sure. I may put in two. I may use a screw. I don't know. Certainly needs to be strong. I've got still knocking that idea around. And then this bolt will only go through this adapter strap that I built. So drew it up, and today I'm going to cut it out on my nice new bandsaw. This is my first time using this. In the past, when I worked in a real shop, we had a giant do-all industrial strength bandsaw. I have this nice Craftsman bandsaw, and it will work, but my experience using these on metal is they make a god-awful amount of noise. And I like tools, so I bought this. So I'm into this not too much. And it's a high-quality saw. Let me put the camera on a tripod, and then we'll talk about it. Drew a line on this steel, and in the lights of my shop it was just hard to see. So grabbed some black spray paint, dusted on a real light coat, put a line in, and it's able to be seen, but I'll buy me some Dykem. I cut out my first one. I always label my steel in a few places when it comes in my shop so that when I cut it, there's no doubt. Typically I know what that part I made is, but the remainder I want to make sure it's labeled. So when I'm done today, I'll write the thickness and the steel type on there. Obviously this big stamp is here. If I find a piece of steel like this one, well, this has it written in there, but this next piece I'm going to cut out. It's not going to have anything written. If I find a blank piece of steel, you know, I'm going to throw it in my scrap bin and can't use it for parts, you know, an airworthy or structural part. Anyhow, this saw worked absolutely like a champ. I wore hearing protection on the first one and didn't need it, so I'm going to fire this thing up again. I forgot to mark the length on here, so let me scratch a line in so I know where to. Okay, that'll work. Anyhow, this is a variable speed saw. That is all the way down to 1. I don't know how fast it's going. Haven't even tried it at that speed. Let's. It's cutting. I'm not going to cut too much there. So that's max. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then max. So that's like a 6. I cut the last piece on a 3. And that's what I'll do here. Two pieces, very similar in size, a little bit of grinding, and I'll have them exactly the same. I cut them a little long, didn't really put a lot into measuring the length. I'll bend them, put them up, test fit them a few times, and then I'll trim them a little bit shorter. But there we go. Those were actually the first metal parts I've cut out in 20 something years, so hooray for me. I didn't cut any of my body parts, and didn't actually have to throw any parts away, so not too shabby. Alrighty, I'm going to cut these parts down to size, or grind them. It's a pretty old belt in here. I don't know what grit it is. It's fairly rough. I got a bag of new ones back there, but I think this will work. Same for my disc there. Some people do bending and then smooth the parts. Like I said, I'm going to cut the length, but I'll be able to sand that. You should smooth your parts before you put any bending on them. If there's a nick, and you can, I don't know if you can see it, but There's a little high spot there, so there's a nick. So if I was to bend it, some stress might hit that. It might crack, or even worse, make a tiny crack that you can't see too well in there. So do all the smoothing first before you bend them. I mean, you have to do it. Might as well do it first. So let's smooth this thing down. Alrighty, so these are smoothed up. That one piece I cut a little bit longer, that's why it took longer to smooth. You know, a lot of parts the drawings will tell you what radius to put on the corners. If there isn't, you know, you noticed me, I just knocked the corner down. The radius is the scientific term for something that won't cut the living crap out of me while I'm working on the plane. Yeah, that's the basic thing. You could probably, you know, especially on a part like this, you know, you could put a radius, you know, 1/4 inch or something on there if you liked. But I just knocked the sharp edge down. You can see I didn't put a lot of work into that. Anyhow, what I'm going to do next is use some lacquer thinner and remove the spray paint from these, and then I'm going to smooth them with a palm sander. I'll probably drop them in the got a jar of lacquer thinner I use just to clean stuff, so I'll drop them in there. Okay, just pulled these pieces out of my bottle of lacquer thinner. Set them on here to dry. A little bit of rust on one piece. I have a what is it? An oscillating rotary sander that I usually use on these. It's actually upstairs working on my living room. But I also have just a regular old vibrating pad sander. So that will take care of this for me. Okay, parts are cleaned. It is August in Birmingham, Alabama. So it's 90 and 90 degrees temperature and about 90% humidity. We had some rain come through yesterday. My shop is a little better. I'm at 90% humidity in the shop, and it's only 71 in here. What that means is immediately after cleaning these steel parts, we're going to keep them from getting rusted. You can put a coat of oil on them if you want. That'll work pretty good, but I brought my paint booth out, as in my sacrificial cardboard. Anyhow, here we go. That's half. Light coat of zinc chromate, real zinc chromate, not green paint from Walmart. And that'll protect them. Some of it'll come off when I bend it. I've actually got some epoxy primer. I plan on mixing up a batch. I don't know. I'm going to do a bulk paint session here in a while, so I can strip this off of these parts and reprime them. But either way, I guarantee you they'll rust. I mean, you saw there was already some rust on there. Anyhow, that's about it. I'll give this a few minutes, flip it over. It's probably good now. Alrighty, all done. Now I'll figure out how to bend those. I have a real small, kind of cheesy brake. I don't think it's, I got it for aluminum, and it might bend 63 aluminum, I don't know. I doubt it's going to bend that, so I'll probably just chuck them up in the vise and bang them over. But I want to do some trial fits in the fuselage, make sure they're reasonably close, do any final adjusting I need. But anyhow, that's it for today.